Where ambition and competition ran high, lived Daniel Carrington, a man consumed by jealousy. He worked at the prestigious law firm of Hamilton and Associates, known for its formidable lawyers and high-profile cases. However, despite his talents, Daniel was overshadowed by his colleague, Ethan Montgomery, a black man. Ethan's sharp wit and charismatic charm made him the center of attention, leaving Daniel simmering with resentment. One fateful evening, Daniel's envy reached its peak. Tired of living in Ethan's shadow, he hatched a sinister plan. With meticulous care, he acquired a small packet of drugs, intending to plant it in Ethan's belongings. He hoped to tarnish Ethan's reputation and pave the way for his own ascent in the firm. Consumed by his own malicious thoughts, Daniel plotted every detail of his scheme. The next day at the office, Daniel covertly slipped the packet of drugs into Ethan's briefcase during office hours while everyone was busy doing their various jobs. He reveled in his cunning, convinced that his plan would lead to Ethan's downfall. As the days passed, Daniel's scheme seemed to be working. Rumors began to circulate about Ethan's alleged involvement in drugs, casting a dark shadow over his reputation. The police were informed, and a thorough investigation was launched. Ethan, unaware of the planted evidence, was stunned by the accusations. He vowed to prove his innocence and clear his name. In a twist of fate, Daniel found himself drawn into the investigation as a key witness. Seizing the opportunity, he offered his assistance to the police, feigning concern for Ethan's predicament. This unexpected turn of events allowed Daniel to be closer to the unfolding drama, all while maintaining his facade of innocence. As the investigation deepened, Daniel's guilt began to gnaw at him. The more he witnessed Ethan's anguish and determination to clear his name, the more he questioned his own motives. He started to realize the extent of the damage he had caused, not only to Ethan but to himself as well. A battle raged within him as his feelings of jealousy were overshadowed by guilt and remorse. Unable to bear the weight of his guilt any longer, Daniel made a bold decision. He anonymously reached out to Ethan, revealing the truth behind the planted evidence. Conflicted and desperate for redemption, Daniel offered to testify in Ethan's favor, hoping to make amends for his treacherous actions. Ethan, shocked by the revelation, cautiously accepted the unexpected lifeline. As the trial date approached, tensions ran high. The courtroom was a battleground of conflicting emotions. The prosecution presented their case, relying heavily on the planted evidence, while Ethan's defense team fought to prove his innocence. In a stunning turn of events, Daniel took the stand, his voice steady as he confessed to his jealousy-fueled scheme. His testimony turned the trial on its head, forcing everyone to confront the truth. Daniel's confession sent shockwaves through the legal community, leaving both his colleagues and the public astounded. His brave admission earned him a measure of redemption, but he still had to face the consequences of his actions. The courtroom held its breath as the verdict was read. Ethan was acquitted, and Daniel was sentenced to serve time for his deceitful plot. Behind bars, Daniel had plenty of time to reflect on his choices. His jealousy had led him down a dark path, but his willingness to face the consequences and seek redemption began to reshape his outlook on life. He used his time to learn from his mistakes, engage in self-improvement, and develop a genuine sense of remorse. He did his time and paid for his crime. Now it's time to go out to the world and prove truly that he's a changed man. The city of Eldoria had changed during Daniel's time in prison. Skyscrapers had risen higher, neighborhoods had transformed, and the legal landscape had evolved. As Daniel walked the streets that were once so familiar, he couldn't help but feel like a stranger in his own city. Yet, with each step, he was determined to make amends for his past. One day, while volunteering at a local community center, Daniel had an unexpected encounter. As he shared his story of redemption with a group of teenagers, a young man named Leo listened intently. Leo's eyes held a familiar spark of resentment, and Daniel recognized a reflection of his former self. After the session, Leo approached Daniel with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. "I don't buy it," Leo said, crossing his arms. "You expect me to believe that you've changed? That you're not the same guy who ruined someone's life out of jealousy? I understand your doubt, Leo. But I've walked a path of regret, and I'm trying to make amends. I can't change my past, but I can try to shape a better future." Over the next few weeks, Daniel dedicated himself to mentoring Leo. He shared his experiences, both the mistakes he'd made and the lessons he'd learned. He listened to Leo's frustrations, empathizing with his struggles. As their bond grew, Daniel saw himself in the young man, realizing that his own redemption journey was intertwined with Leo's path to self-discovery. Leo's resentment began to soften, replaced by a sense of camaraderie with Daniel. They spent hours discussing life, values, importance of second chances, and having fun. Through their conversations, Daniel helped Leo channel his anger into constructive outlets, like art and writing. Slowly but surely, Leo started to believe in the possibility of change. As Daniel's relationship with Leo deepened, he found the courage to reconnect with Ethan, the man he had once tried to destroy. He sent an earnest letter, expressing his remorse and explaining his journey toward redemption. Ethan, though initially skeptical, agreed to meet with Daniel. Their reunion was both awkward and emotional. The years had softened their edges, and the bitterness that had once defined their relationship had transformed into a shared understanding of human fallibility. They talked about the trial, about the paths their lives had taken since that fateful day, and about the lessons they had both learned. While they both argued for who to settle the bill, Ethan said, "You've changed, Daniel. And while I can't forget what you did, I can acknowledge that people have the capacity to change." Daniel's journey to redemption took on a new dimension when he joined forces with Ethan on a mission to raise awareness about the consequences of jealousy-driven actions. They started speaking at schools, community centers, and even legal conferences, sharing their own stories as cautionary tales. Their partnership sent a powerful message about the potential for growth and transformation, even after the darkest of deeds. Leo, inspired by Daniel's dedication to change, became an integral part of their mission. He shared his own struggles and how Daniel had helped him redirect his anger. Together, the trio reached out to those who were teetering on the edge of making destructive choices, offering a lifeline of hope and guidance. As the years went by, Daniel, Ethan, and Leo's efforts began to yield tangible results. Their message of redemption resonated with countless individuals, preventing some from making irreversible mistakes and inspiring others to seek their own paths to change. Their story was covered by local media, spreading their message even further. One day, while preparing for a speech for an upcoming event, Daniel received a heartfelt letter from a young woman named Maya. She shared her own story of jealousy-driven actions that had nearly ruined a friendship. Maya wrote about how hearing Daniel's story had given her the strength to confront her mistakes and work towards reconciliation. Touched by her words, Daniel felt a profound sense of fulfillment. His journey had come full circle. In the end, Daniel's tale was one of redemption and the profound impact of human connection. He had transformed from a jealous man driven by bitterness into a beacon of hope for those grappling with their own demons. His partnership with Ethan and Leo had not only transformed their lives but had also created a legacy that would continue to touch lives for generations to come.